Ba-ba-da-da! Howdy! Welcome to BanjoBenClark.com. This is your home for learning how to pick on the banjo, the guitar, and today, the mandolin. She's so pretty and so nice and so smooth. What we're doing today is identifying a very common question that I get. I get, gosh, well over 100 emails a week asking me questions and sending in requests, which I really appreciate y'all doing. And one of the most common questions is, how do you come up with a break? I know how to sing a song, but how do you come up with a break to a song with lyrics? And so today, what I want to do is take one of those most common standards that we all know, we all sing, 9-pound hammer, and we're going to do it in the key of A, and I'm going to show you how to take it from just the melody that you hear, that you sing, all the way up into a full break. You can do that. Did you know that? Check it out. What we're going to do first is I'm going to play it one time through, just playing the straight up melody, at least the melody that I sing. There's several different interpretations, but the melody that I would sing. And then we're going to add the second time through just some common harmony notes that we find in our chords that we're using, okay? And then the third time through, I'm going to start combining in another just few licks that I've made up that gets us from one point of the song to the other. So check this out, starting with the very basic melody, working all the way up into a full break. Okay, you saw the progression there from the standard melody to using the standard melody with harmony notes into adding some more licks to kind of spice it up a little bit. I can show you how to do that, and that's what we're going to do today with this 30-minute video lesson here at BanjoBenClark.com. If you're watching on YouTube, here in a little while, I'm going to ask you to jump over to my website, BanjoBenClark.com, and join as a Gold Pick member, where you'll have access to all of these videos and tabs that I update each and every week. I sure appreciate all of you who have done that. You're the ones that allow me to do what I do. So let's dive right into this one, a little bit of that 9-pound hammer. But I'd like to look here at the first measure, and essentially what I've done when we're first starting to build a break is just hum out that basic melody to ourselves. If we can hum this melody, if we can sing this melody, then we can find it on our instrument, or at least we can get some good practice in trying to find it. And you'll get better and better at that as you go along. But I want to sing this song in the key of A, so I assume that most of you are probably already playing rhythm to this song. 9-pound hammer. Now, just as many different people have recorded this song, there's as many different versions of the melody. Okay, Doc Watson sings it one way. He might put a melody note here or there. Tony Rice might do it a completely different way, or whoever it may be. So I kind of took my own interpretation, and whenever I sing it, I might sing, well, there's a 9-pound hammer. Okay, so I'm going to find those notes here on my mandolin. There's my starting note, the 2nd fret. There's a 9-pound. I found it there on the 4th fret. As you can see, there's a 9-pound. And where does it go from there? Ham, the open A string. Hammer. And that's on into the 2nd measure. Let's look at that. We got a ham, is that downstroke on the quarter note there, and then we've got mer, the 2nd syllable of that word, that's going to take us out through the rest of that measure. Now this isn't really, this isn't a bowed sustaining instrument like maybe a dobro or a violin, a fiddle would be. So we don't have the luxury sometimes of just playing one note and letting it ring out, such as a fiddle might just be able to bow that same note and it sound just fine. So what I've done here in this particular song is, whenever we have those notes that hold out through the whole measure, I'm just going to play 8th notes to kind of fill in that time. So let's look at those first two measures, and it's going to be just exactly as how we'd sing it, or at least how I sing it. 2, ready, go, 1. There's a 9-pound hammer. And then remember, I just do the 8th notes through that mer syllable. Now we get to measure 3. We're just going to continue to hum the song. Is a little too. It's the way I sing it. It's a little too. So we're going to find those notes. It's a little. Right there. 4th fret. Just as you see there on the tab. Is a little too. And there's our other melody note. That 2nd fret. Is a little too. And then what's our next melody notes? Heavy. So measure 4. We can find those. Heavy. There we go. Now that V in heavy is going to carry out through the rest of that measure, so I'm going to play 8th notes. On into measure 5. Buddy for my, you see the melody there. Measure 6. Sighs. Sighs takes up that whole measure, so I'm just going to play sighs, and then we're going to do some more 8th notes. On into measure 7. Buddy for mine, yeah, now you're getting the hang of it. Sighs, measure 8, sighs, which takes up that whole measure. Measure 9, well, roll on, well, roll on. I found them there in those quarter notes. Then measure 10, buddy. We got a kind of little blues sound in there. Buddy, buddy, down, up, down. We're going to play 8th notes to take up the D in buddy. Is buddy, don't you roll so, don't you roll so, don't you roll so. That was in measure 11. Slow, that's pretty easy. Let's find that note right there. Measure 12, slow. How can I, pretty straightforward. Roll in 14, roll. When the wheels won't roll, 16. So there is our basic melody of 9-pound hammer. It's a little too heavy, buddy for my size, buddy for my size. Well, roll on, buddy, don't you roll so slow. How can I roll when the wheels won't roll? Yeah, now that's great for a simple melody, but how do we start spicing that up a bit? And what I'm going to show you here is now that we know which chords are going with the melody, we know our melody, now we know which chords, we saw the chords that are printed in the tab, I'm going to teach you to find harmony notes to play with the basic melody so we can start filling this break out a little bit, start building a break. It might sound something like this. So we're going to start working on some double stops, and then eventually we're going to start filling in with more licks. Good stuff. Let's move on.